Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Pharaoh, a new era. So this is, well, exactly that. It is a new version of Pharaoh. I believe it's a remastering, reimagining of the original. It is coming out of publisher Dotemu, which are building a bit of a reputation for doing these sort of things. They did Ninja Turtles recently. What else? There is a bunch of things. I think Metal Slug's on their docket as well, but they're doing these sort of breathing fresh life into these older series. Now, the thing is, as much as I like the Pharaoh Caesar games and that, they do predate me a little bit. I was very young when they came out, and they weren't exactly my genre at the time. Now, these days, old Scarlet, he loves these sort of games, and Nebuchadnezzar is a great example of a reinvention, a reinvigoration of this isometric city builder sort of game. So this is a lot truer to its original roots, bollard systems or roadblocks, whatever you want to call them. I call them bollards because I'm Navy. But I'll show you what I know and what I figured out. I've already been playing a bit of this, and, you know, straight up, it's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. But if you're a crusty old veteran, before you start screaming at me for not knowing any better, again, I don't actually have the strict nostalgia and veterancy with this game. So it is kind of fresh to me, you know. It is one of those things, you know, I'm familiar with them from a distance. But I'm, especially through Nebuchadnezzar, I love Nebuchadnezzar, and I'm going to have to compare this to it. But from what I understand, this has a lot of mechanics that are way more OG, right? All right, Gronk, creative family. You know what, I'll just delete that straight up. I've played through I actually played a bunch because I was just going to do an overview, but this is potentially going to be a playthrough, right? But we'll create the exact same family because I'm very unimaginative. I mean, if you want to see a playthrough, you got to let me know, right? Chuck a comment, that sort of thing. That feedback goes a long way to letting me know who wants what, because I can only cover so much. Anyway, so we're going to do campaign and proceed through. Some really cool sort of like voice acting in that as well. And I think the art, I can understand a lot of people aren't going to like this art. Now, I know I'm generalizing, it's still just a publisher. Publisher doesn't have a lot of direct creative control specifically, but I have noticed in a lot of the Dotemu published reimagining projects that they're doing, they do have this very specific artistic styling which leans towards cartoony, which I think some people might not like. Personally, I think it's wonderful. I think it's really cool and clean. Anyway, just some thoughts. Pre-dynastic period, 3500 BC. Your family begins the pre-dynastic period, leading a small band of nomads through their discovery of the arts of civilization. Your leadership helps to set Egypt on its course to eventual greatness, still glimpsed only dimly. And we're going to nooped? I don't know. A village is born, right. So essentially, we need to get 6 mega shanties. From what I understand, a lot of the early objectives are exactly that. It has again, I'm going to have to compare it to things that are more contemporary for me, from what I know, but it has like a tiered system like Anno, right? You essentially feed resources to a building, and the building will level up. That's the core.
History of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
An epic story that spans more than 15 centuries and 24 generations.
Yeah!
You must lead one family, generation by generation, from its earliest beginnings in Egyptian prehistory, through the dawn of civilization, to the establishment of a unique and powerful empire and beyond.
Yeah, beyond. Good, yes.
Our story.
I was going to say, that's a long pause, mate.
Years ago,
I thought you went to get a coffee.
The banks of the Nile River in an area known as Nupt.
Nooped.
Here, a small confederacy of clans struggles to eke out an existence in the harsh environment. With you at its head, your family leads this small settlement.
Yes. Right, okay, so don't let your debt get too high, right? Which is interesting, like Nebuchadnezzar, especially in the early days. I don't know how to make money, so let's not stress too much. Okay, cool, so it's going to teach us a little bit of stuff. There are some fundamentals to get our head around, and we're just going to, I think we actually have to follow the bouncing ball, so that's fine. Buildings seem to enjoy going in a 2x2 pattern. However, you can build smaller ones. We're also going to need to put down roads. God, we did just cover Nebuchadnezzar the other day. Maybe I do a playthrough of Nebuchadnezzar. I really like it a lot. Do them side by side. The path by which the immigrants come along is the Kingdom Road. Migrants always need free passage for the Kingdom Road, right? And again, that's a theme of this style of game, this genre, is that they come along here. Now, I can't control the speed with any hotkeys, I don't think. I might check later, but I have to do that, which is a little bit frustrating. You see what I mean about this stylized, cartoony graphics? I get that some people might not vibe that. But oh well, what are you going to do? To evolve the houses and the inhabitants, you have to give it basic water. Some well-placed wells, oh that is quite the sentence, will provide them with everything they need. They have to be built on underlying groundwater. Again, a lot of comparisons to Nebuchadnezzar because I'm much more familiar. With that, you have irrigation systems. I don't know if you actually have that in this game or not. I suppose we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Basically, we have to stay near these grassy lands near the floodplains. Okay, so two tile radius from themselves with wells. You very quickly get the water supply, which I think is just better. Oh, that's why we've left the gap in between. Okay, well that's kind of cool. It doesn't require a worker to deliver them, which is sweet. Quality of life. If you'd rather have all the subcategories open, you can change. No, that's okay. We'll just leave it as toggle. Okay, hunting. A growing population needs a reliable food source and a means of storing and distributing it. The ostriches in this region can be hunted for food. You need a hunting lodge, and granaries store game meat and other foods while bazaars distribute them. So the system, again, comparisons to Nebuchadnezzar. The system is a little bit more streamlined, as opposed to sort of a caravan-based waypointing. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the hunting... Oh, well, we have to put it here by the look of it. Or do you want two, do you? Is that what you're saying? 2 hunting lodges. As with most working structures, these buildings must be located within reach of housing, and the city must have enough workers to staff them. Watch as the buildings spawn a walker to look for workers, and how they turn animated once their walkers pass by occupied houses, right? So, I guess we can try and observe this. He's going to go looking for workers. Hunters will set out now in search of prey. If successful, they'll bring carcasses back to the lodge and be butchered, after which cart pushers will deliver them to the nearest granary for storage, right? That we're going to build now. Granaries are somewhat undesirable. Is it granary or granary? I called them granaries for the longest time, but I think I might have been mispronouncing it. I don't know, whatever. I'm sure both are probably correct. We need access to a workforce, so it's important to place them carefully. I'm watching this. Now that's interesting, where he turned left instead of right. Oh, there you go, he changed. He changed into a hunter. I was watching this guy, but he doesn't seem to be. I guess he's looking for more workers still. Yeah, there was a way that, I'll just open it up now, even though it's not going to teach us just yet. The way that your walkers, like guys that deliver things or service houses, medics, fire marshals, that sort of stuff, the way they interact with intersections is they randomly choose which direction they go in. It's actually kind of clever, if not frustrating for some, and you manage that by putting roadblocks that will block that particular type of dude. It's an interesting and elegant system, if not a bit arbitrary, right? Okay, so we're going to build the granary there. There you go. He's bringing that back to be butchered. While your hunters now deliver game meat to the granary, you still have no way to distribute it to the inhabitants. That's the job of the bazaar. The bazaar will send out one of its workers, the granary, to bring back food, and then it will send its distributors roaming the roads to deliver to your citizens, right? Let's build that then. Yeah. When trying to place near a road, you'll see indicators for arrows. The green arrow shows where the building will spawn its walkers and where it will take deliveries of goods. The red arrow shows the point of return for distributors coming out of this building. So, yeah, okay. So they both have to be linked on the same path. That's something I was wondering about. It's in and out. Jeez, this music's wild. Sometimes they'll be on the same tile. The point might change. You can share. Okay, cool. Because I wondered if you could try and bollard them out separately, but that doesn't actually seem like a sensible move. Okay, cool. So we're going to put the bazaar there. Oh, look, it's talking about it now. Distributors, whether they distribute goods or services to houses, roam the roads for your city for a time, and then come back to their building. During their walk, when they reach a crossroad, they can take either direction. To avoid distributors getting lost and going where you don't want them to go, don't build a road network with too many intersections. This is also true for recruiters. So, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of build theory, but I started thinking that it might be unconventional, but this is how Scarlet's brain works. The way that we put those buildings in the center, I almost wonder if you want to put your distributors in the center of your city, you know? What if you have this like circle path in the center? There's no intersections. My point is, if you remove the intersections from a certain transit path, then it might make it easier. I don't know, maybe that's something I'm floating around in my head. One of the tools at your disposal is roadblock. Roadblocks present distributors and recruiters going through, but let other walkers with a set destination pass, all right? That's the other thing to bear in mind. If they've got a set destination, see, here we go. So you sort of block your township in. But if they're not roaming, then they just go through the bollard. So it's a bit tough to figure out which is which. To make sure NEP sustains the test of time, we'll need to make sure the structures in the village don't catch fire or collapse on themselves. Not all buildings are prone to risks. The best way to tell if one needs to be visited by either an architect from an architect post or a fire marshal from a firehouse is to click on it and open its panel info. Houses, for example, will catch fire if not attended to, but will never collapse on themselves. Oh, okay, cool. So we click on that, you can see cannot collapse. In excellent health. No fire risk. Okay, cool, sure. Right, so let's build a firehouse and an architect post. Suppose like that. Yeah. Access to clean water. Now that they have food, villagers will need access to clean water from a water supply, which is much preferred over a well's water. And I think that's just because there's a distributor associated with the well, so it's kind of got a better range. In fact, yeah, as long as the well gets built on the water, I could build my villages into the desert. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because as long as the walker can walk it out to them. Right. Yes. 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 Water supply. So you can see I can't put it out here. You can put it just like on, see that corner there? As long as it's got a little bit of green, you can place it there. So I suppose you could use this as a range extender. Victory! Very good, well done. By filling your people's bellies with nourishing food and protecting their homes from fire and collapse, you've helped this fledgling civilization take its first steps on the long road of history. Let's go, we don't need to stay here. We're going Tinnis? Your family begins the pre-dynastic period, leading a small band of nomads. No, I think we've already read that. Yeah. Okay, so ordinary cottages is what we need next. Ooh, I'm really enjoying this. Again, I've made comparisons to Nebuchadnezzar, and in many ways, I really prefer Nebuchadnezzar from, dare I say, a more hardcore standpoint. However, I'm actually loving this. Funnily enough, they're so similar, but they're different enough that I would gladly play both of them for different reasons and enjoy them both equally. Does that sound like a cop-out? It's not meant to be.
After many years and the passing of a generation,
yeah, all right, talk to me.
Your
Let's go.
family has resettled in the area of Inis, in
Yes.
Upper Egypt. Here, a small band of local rulers is attempting to extend its influence over Lower Egypt and all
Right.
lands along the River Nile, and to unite this realm under its own house with one supreme leader.
Oh no.
Establishing Thinis as a thriving
I like
city
this voice
like
actor.
nothing ever seen before will prove the worthiness of the Thinite Confederacy and help them gain supremacy over Lower Egypt and the other factions vying for power. In time, this will mean providing the population with entertainment and
Right.
building wonderful temples to worship the region's patron deity.
Yeah, so God's
To build
playing
a
into this a
city
fair bit
this
as well.
grand will
If you don't
require a
worship them, they'll
substantial
mess with
supply
you.
of cash. You'll find rich deposits of gold ore in Thinis, and harvesting them should be your first priority.
Sounds good, sounds great. Okay, cool. So the first few missions are going to be like this, a little bit hand-holding. I don't mind. I'm enjoying retreading them. I enjoy showing these games to people. Start to lay down your housing and provide your people with fresh water and food the same way that you did it in Nut. Try to be relatively close to those ore-bearing rocks to the northwest of the map. You're going to need to mine them. You can clear trees with the destroy button, but they won't grow back. In future missions, you'll have to make sure you won't need them before getting rid of them. Okay, we'll keep in mind about that. So it looks like there's gold in the hills up here. Okay, so, let's go on Scarlet's sort of working theory. Water supplier is going to limit our range most. And the green doesn't get any closer than that, does it? Yeah. So if I go like that, and then what if I relocate the road a bit? Sort of, it begins, Scarlet's theory crafting begins. Oh, actually, I don't know what I'm doing, like, maybe this is a terrible idea. I'm stand by for the, 50-year-old veterans come in here and start sweating at me. You're doing it wrong. It's not how I did it back when the original game came out. And then I guess, I think if, let's say we did something like that, I think your range gets limited to 2 squares. Like, they will actually just fade out. Oh, let's find out. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. Speed management. Yeah. Oh, hang on. And key binding? They have their own keyboard shortcuts that you can modify. Yeah. Okay, actually, let's figure out what those are real quick. Key binding. What the fuck? Speed down, speed up. Okay, no, that's not going to happen. I don't know, let's go. Do the number keys have anything or before I remap them? Overseer. Oh, it opens the overseers? No, I don't care about any of that crap. That's fine. Speed up is 2. And then we'll go speed down 1. That'll do, I suppose. Okay. Confirm. Yeah, that'll do. I can press it twice. Yeah, cool. Yeah. And now he's carrying his water out there. Though I think, see, he's pissing off up into the woods. Let's do that. Yeah, I think we'll do something like that for the moment. Alright? Yeah. And if you click on him, residence, no crime, low fire risk, cannot collapse, excellent health. But you can also see this house cannot evolve and it needs a supply of food from a local bazaar, right? Do we have ostriches again? We do. Ostriches down there. If you click on there, because food, I don't know if we're going to get to it in this episode, but you can see these floodplains down here. Farming on them becomes a big thing, and you have to sort of balance your yield with the sort of the flooding of the plain. It's very cool. Hunting lodge. So this is sort of industry, right? So if I were to plonk that on the other side of this bollard, and then if we put a granary there, right? And then a bazaar would have to go, we'd want the bazaar to go in here. So let's see. What if we... What if we do that? Do you sort of see what I'm saying? What if we... Hang on, what if I did like... that? Would that work? See, the water dude just keeps going around in circles. And the bazaar man will do the same once we get food. You can also mouse over here for unemployment. City save. Here come the people. Are you guys getting fed? Needs food from the bazaar. Game meat 0. Maybe... I don't know, I might be doing this wrong. I hope not. Oh. What's he doing? He's moving carts. Oh, he got food for a second. I saw it flicker up. Oh, there you go, sturdy hut. I will say that I find, see, that's the next level of hut. I find the little art, the art's lovely, but I feel that the different classes aren't really discerned super well. Like, at a glance, it should be pretty overt that they're different. Some of them don't look so obvious to me. Okay, look at this. Some fire risk, we might have to deal with that. This dwelling cannot evolve until the desirability of the area increases. Yeah, build at least 10 meager shanties. There are meager shanties there. Okay, sure. So what's Scarlet gonna do next? What else can we build? We can build the architect and the firehouse. That's sort of it, isn't it? God, I haven't really planned this out very well, have I? Deleting all these poor bastards' homes. Ah, fuck it. Alright, something like that. Yeah, we'll just do that. Should be right. So, now if we check this, no fire risk, cannot collapse. Yeah, oh well, I figure. Can these? Cannot collapse. Cannot collapse. Oh, maybe we don't need an architect in our sort of residential district. Oh, that's interesting. So we potentially want to put a bollard here. And then, I guess we'd have to double up. Like, yeah, because low collapse risk. You see what I mean? So they definitely need an architect. Do they have fire risk as well? Extreme fire risk. Ooh, shit. Alright. Okay, cool. Managing Treasury. Each structure you place costs debens, not counting what you will spend to pay the workers' salaries. One way to make back that gold is to mine, that money to mine gold. Place at least 2 gold mines, right? Has that dealt with the... No fire risk, yeah. See, it says cannot collapse. Oh, no collapse risk. So that's the only building I have that has collapse risk. So we could probably delete... Is that the architect's post? We'll delete that. Because I don't believe we need it. Unless maybe higher level buildings need it? I don't know. Anyway, let's get gold mines going. So, production gold mine. What does it say when you mouse over it? Oh, it just transformed into debens. You really fucked up where you've placed your town, didn't you, Scarlet? Like that? Let's try that. Oh, they're looking for workers. Right, so they're going to go up here. Let's try that again. See if they can make it far enough this time. No! Oh, you idiots! Well, might not have a choice here, old Scarlito. Alright. Oh, great. Now the bloody water carriers are coming. Oh! How come they made it that time? I don't even know. Gold. Okay, that's just bizarre. What? How come they made it that other time? Gold is a special resource stored in a palace, a unique building that also vaults the city's treasury. You can only build one palace and it must be constructed on grassy areas. Ah, each gold carrier reaching your palace will add 100 devons. Okay. Oh, it looks like we got... Okay, they worked it out in the end. Are they going to look for workers now? No. Now this gold dude has nowhere to go. Village palace. I mean, what if I put it out here outside of my little city limits? Do you see what I mean? They ignore the bollards if they seem to have a specific destination in mind. With a supply of cash in reserve, however, comes the risk of theft. Constables from a police station can help reduce losses through theft, both by patrolling the streets to prevent crime and by subduing any criminals that they encounter. Best way to prevent crime, though, is to keep your population happy and adequate with food and all that bullshit. Okay, cool. So, police station. Do these have a crime stat, though? Nah, see. Okay. So we'll just let the constable patrol around there. You can check your houses by seeing their risk of crime, but sometimes it'll need to be able to do it in one glance. Try the crime overlay. Yeah, so the overlays are pretty handy. Crime risk overlay. Looks like that's... Green is good. Green means no risk, I guess. Okay, so they're going through there. Crime isn't the only challenge you'll face. Got all these supplementary buildings. Health will cause problems and can decimate your citizens. Physicians patrolling the neighborhood will help. Okay, cool. Other structures will help your citizens' health going forward. The apothecary will protect houses against malaria. Oh. Physician. I don't think we have an apothecary. Oh. Sad. Well, time to bulldoze some houses. What is it? Physician. Sorry, just getting into it. Alright, so I don't know if I need that road there. I think... Oh my god. Okay, religion. I just want to I want to get rid of that road, but it keeps putting pop-ups up. An Egyptian city cannot truly flourish without a suitable place for worship in the form of religious temples and shrines dedicated to one of the 5 gods. Patron god of Thinis is Bast. Oh, Thinis is our city. To appease the gods, build enough temples and shrines dedicated to each of them to serve your current population. A working temple sends a priest through the neighborhoods, granting residents access to worship of his god. That's pretty cool. A priest comes to your doorstep. In addition to their religious effects, shrines and temples also provide a good amount of desirability for houses nearby. In addition to their religious effects. Oh, desirability. Right. Shrines can be built 1 tile away from the road. Yeah. I mean, see these little one huts? Maybe there's value to just building a city with those little, you know, you could put this behind. Maybe, I don't know. I figured doing what I'm doing is the way. But, you know, I've been wrong before. Okay, fuck this. Oops. Oopsie daisies. Oopsie daisies. Sorry, team. Let's make sure that these gold boys can get their next trip. Yep, perfect. Look at that. Alright. Build a temple and 2 shrines dedicated to Bast. Alright. Well, I guess that's what we're up to. I just checked the clock. I am running out of time. This is great. I'm enjoying this immensely. It should be out. I'm releasing against an embargo, so it should be out now by the time I release this. If you do want to see some more, just chuck us a comment. Let us know. I'm really enjoying this and I wouldn't mind going a bit deeper. Anyway, I might just leave it there for the time being and I'll catch you guys on the next one.